"We're using your wedding venue for your sister's baby shower." Mom said, "Same day, same time. Her baby is more important." I said, "Okay." Then I called the venue, my former employer, and said, "Cancel everything and refund me the $7,600. When my sister showed up with 50 guests, "My name's Millie. I'm 28, and I make other people look perfect for a living. Red carpet events, politicians' wives, reality show stars, the kind of people whose faces you recognize even if you pretend you don't. I'm the makeup artist they call when the camera is unforgiving and the lighting is worse. In my family, though, I'm not the professional, not the business owner, not the one who left a crappy small town and built a client list that can pay for a whole wedding in cash. I'm the older sister, the one who should understand, help out, and not make drama. My little sister Jenna is the golden one. She's 24, pregnant with the first grandchild, and somehow the sun now apparently rises and sets based on the position of her bump. My mom talks about the baby like it's the second coming, and talks about my wedding like it's a Pinterest board she's bored of. I got engaged last year to Liam, who's the calmest man on planet Earth. He's a paramedic. I do makeup for stressed VIPs. He keeps people from dying. On paper, we're very different, but somehow we work. He proposed in our tiny kitchen with a slightly crooked ring because he'd hidden it in the flour jar and forgotten which jar it was. I said yes while coughing on dust. It was perfect. I spent 10 years working my way up in the wedding industry before I moved into VIP work. I know venues, vendors, photographers. The place I booked for our wedding, I used to work there. I did bridal makeup in their little prep suite 4 days a week for years. The manager, Carla, watched me burn out and then cheered me on when I left to build my own brand. So when Liam and I finally picked a date, I called Carla. "You're finally getting married?" She squealed. "About time, girl." She gave me an insane discount, staff-level pricing even though I wasn't on staff anymore. Outdoor ceremony, string lights, the lake, the whole soft, minimal, not too fancy aesthetic I wanted. Date set, contract signed, deposit paid. This is important later. The day everything went sideways started really normal. I'd just finished doing touch-ups on a TV host before a live segment. My back hurt, my feet ached, but it was that good kind of tired where you know you've done your job well. I got to my car, checked my phone. 12 missed calls from Mom. 4 from Jenna family group chat, 37 unread messages. My stomach immediately tightened. Nothing good ever comes from that many messages. I opened the latest one from my mom just as my phone started ringing again. "Mom" flashed on the screen. I thought about letting it go to voicemail, but some instinct made me swipe accept. "Millie, finally," she said, not even saying hello. "We need to talk about the venue." I pulled the phone away from my ear, glanced at the time, then put it back. "Hi, Mom. I'm fine. Thanks for asking." She exhaled, annoyed. "Don't start with your attitude. Listen, we've decided we're using your wedding venue for Jenna's baby shower." I sat there in the parking garage, door half open, freezing. "What?" Jenna's voice chimed in faintly in the background. She was clearly on speaker. "We already announced it, Mills. Same day, same time. It just makes sense." Everyone was coming anyway. I had to swallow before I could speak. "You announced what?" Mom made that impatient tongue click I've heard my whole life. "The baby shower. At the venue. On your wedding day." "Oh, stop being dramatic. The baby is only going to be this small once. You and Liam can still sign your papers or whatever. We'll just use the big room so Jenna can have her moment." There was a beat of silence where I swear I could hear my own pulse. Jenna laughed like it was all hilarious. "It'll be cute, Mills. We can do a little corner for your ceremony or something. But obviously the main theme is the baby. Everyone's more excited for him anyway." My fingers tightened around the steering wheel. I felt that weird, floaty feeling I get when a client screams at me for something that isn't my fault. Detached, like I'd left my own body and was watching the scene from above. I cleared my throat. "So, you're telling me my wedding day is now your baby shower?" Mom snorted. "Don't say it like that. We're just combining events. It's practical. People don't have time and money to go to every little thing. We're helping you. You should be grateful." There it was, the first trigger. The line I'd heard in different forms my entire life. You should be grateful. I stared at the concrete wall in front of my car, keys still in the ignition, engine off, feeling my chest tighten and my jaw clench. "Okay," I said quietly, and they both took that one word very, very wrong. To understand how we got to "we're using your wedding for a baby shower," you need to know one thing. I've been the family wallet since I was 19. My parents weren't awful people in the traditional sense. No screaming, No throwing things, no addictions. They were lazy, conveniently helpless. The kind of people who just aren't good with money and somehow turn that into everyone else's problem. Dad left when I was 17. Mom cried for a few weeks, said things like men are trash and we women have to stick together, and then quietly started using me as the new partner for emotional support and, conveniently, bills. I was the one who picked up extra shifts at the venue to cover the electricity when it got cut off. I was the one who slipped her my tips when she forgot to pay the car insurance and almost lost the car. I was the one who bought Jenna her prom dress because you know how important this is for her, Millie, you understand. When I started landing VIP clients, the numbers just got bigger. Just this once, honey. Your sister really needs a car to get to her classes. She'll lose the apartment if she doesn't pay rent. And then where will she live? We'll pay you back when things calm down. They never calmed down. Spoiler, they never paid me back. Meanwhile, Jenna bounced between community college, TikTok influencing, and figuring herself out. She had a different plan every month and a different boyfriend every 6. My mom called it youth. When I worked back-to-back 14-hour days because a music festival booked me for the whole weekend, my mom called it your choice. Nobody asked you to be a workaholic. I moved out at 23. A tiny studio, paper-thin walls, neighbors who fought at 3 a.m., it still felt like heaven because nobody asked me for money in the middle of the night. At least for a while. Then Jenna got pregnant. I found out via a blurry photo of a positive test in the group chat and 74 messages of my mom freaking out in all caps. This is a miracle. Our first baby. We have to throw the best shower ever, my girls. I texted privately, me, are you okay? Jenna, LOL, yeah, it was kinda a surprise. Me, how are you feeling about it? Jenna, honestly, excited. And mom says you'll help with everything. Of course she did. When Liam and I got engaged, the reaction was different. I sent a picture of the ring in the chat. Mom replied after 2 hours. Oh wow, congrats. When's the wedding? Don't make it too far away. You're not getting any younger. Jenna, cute. Don't put me in a bridesmaid dress if I'm pregnant though. I'll look like a whale. That was it. No, we're so happy for you, no phone call, nothing. I tried to ignore it. I told myself they just didn't know how to express things. I focused on the parts that made me happy. Liam, his family, who literally cried when he told them he proposed. My friends, the fact that I could finally afford the dress and venue I wanted. The venue was a huge deal to me. Carla pulled every string she had. Listen, she'd said, leaning over the desk when I went in to sign the contract. Base price is $8,000, but for you, 6. Plus, I'll throw in the bridal suite and an extra hour for cleanup. Don't tell any of my current artists or they'll mutiny. I laughed, actually teared up a little, and transferred the $7,600 right there, deposit plus the first chunk of the balance. It hurt watching that much money leave my account, but it was my money, my choice. Nobody else in my family contributed a cent, and I didn't ask them to. Then the baby fever kicked into overdrive. Suddenly, every conversation with my mom was about registries and nursery colors and how this baby deserves the world. We're doing a forest animals theme, she told me one night like it was a national security issue. Real wooden toys? Only. None of that plastic junk. And Jenna wants a boba bar. Have you seen those on Instagram? So cute. I hummed non-committally, blending foundation on a FaceTime call while she talked. I was literally working on a famous singer's face in a hotel bathroom, and my mom was complaining that the diaper cake had to be 3 tiers minimum. Then she dropped it. You know what would be perfect? She said, eyes lighting up. Your venue. I froze, blending sponge in midair. What? For the baby shower, she said. It's gorgeous. And your discount is just too good to waste on some small wedding. Babies are more special. Everyone will come. Mom, I said slowly, that's our wedding venue. She rolled her eyes. Yes, but you know how many weddings they do. It's nothing to them. This is our first grandchild. It's not the same. I laughed awkwardly. We're not doing the baby shower at my wedding venue. She pursed her lips. You always have to make everything difficult, Millie. We'll figure it out. I should have taken that as a threat. Over the next month, small comments started appearing. Jenna, wouldn't it be so fun if we did a combo event, like baby shower and wedding? 2 birds, 1 stone, lol. Mom, we should be practical, darling. People don't have money for all these separate parties. Think of your relatives. Think of your grandmother. She's old. She can't travel twice. Aunt in the group chat, a baby and a wedding on the same day would be cute. It kept building. Every time I said, no, the wedding is the wedding, I got hit with something else. You're being selfish. Once you have kids, you'll understand. Stop acting like a princess. You're just signing papers. Meanwhile, I was still helping. I paid for maternity photos. I did Jenna's makeup for free for every appointment because she felt ugly and couldn't afford to look nice. I bought half the stuff off her registry because apparently Mom forgot which items she was supposed to get. I kept telling Liam, "It's fine, it's just how they are." He'd look at me with that gentle, worried expression. "Mill, you know this isn't normal, right?" I shrugged. "It's my normal." Then came the day in the parking garage when Mom told me, very casually, that they'd solved it. They weren't asking anymore. They'd decided. "We're using your wedding venue for Jenna's baby shower. Same day, same time. It just makes sense." And when I said, "Okay," they thought they'd won. What they didn't know was that okay was the moment I stopped being their wedding planner / ATM / emotional punching bag and started quietly becoming something else. A problem they couldn't control anymore. In the parking garage, my okay sounded calm. In my chest, it felt like a door slamming. "See?" Jenna chirped through the speaker. "Knew you'd understand. You can still say your vows or whatever before we start the games. Maybe do it in the corner? We'll put up a balloon arch so it still looks cute for you." I stared at my reflection in the rearview mirror. My makeup was perfect, but I looked exhausted. "How far did you get with this?" I asked. My voice sounded flat even to me. Mom didn't notice. She never does. "Oh, everything's basically done. We already texted a bunch of people and told them the change. It's easier this way. They'll all show up for the baby. We didn't want to bother you with details." The group chat started dinging as she spoke. "Mom, baby shower update." "Mom, we're doing it at Millie's venue on the same day as the wedding. Aunt Carol. Wait, how cute is that? Cousin, OMG double celebration." I watched the messages roll in, that familiar heaviness settling over me. "Did you talk to Carla?" I asked slowly. "We tried calling the venue." "Yes." Mom said, "The girl there was so rude. She kept saying she couldn't authorize event changes without the client. You need to call them and sort it out. Tell them we're your family." Of course they'd already tried to change my event behind my back. I took a breath. "Just so I'm clear, you already told people my wedding is now a baby shower?" Mom sighed dramatically. "Stop saying it like that. You'll still get married." "Where?" She hesitated. "I don't know. City Hall? Your dad and I did the courthouse. It's not a big deal. The baby shower needs the space." There it was. The line. "The baby is more important," Jenna added like she was saying something obvious. No offense. My hand actually shook on the steering wheel. My ring caught the light and flashed at me. Liam. I pictured him stringing up cheap fairy lights on our balcony last week because I'd said I wanted to practice our first dance. I pictured his mom texting me pictures of the dress she'd bought, telling me I'd been waiting for this since the day he was born. "Mom?" I said carefully. "Liam's entire family is flying in. We've paid for the venue. We've planned everything around this date." "You're not listening," she snapped. "We're not canceling your thing. We're combining. You're acting like we're taking something from you." "Because you are," I thought. Out loud I said, "You know what? I have to go." "I'm driving." "Don't forget to call the venue," she said. "Oh, and Jenna's boyfriend's mom is vegan, so make sure they have options. We're not paying for that on top of everything else." I hung up. I sat there in silence for a long time. My ears rang. Every breath felt too loud. Then my phone buzzed again. This time it was a text from Carla. Carla, "Hey stranger, your mom just called the front desk and tried to move your booking to baby shower / combined event?" Carla, "I told her only you can change the contract. You good?" Something inside me went very, very still. I typed back, "I'm good. Can I call you later today? Need to talk about the booking." Carla replied with a thumbs up and a, "Of course." I drove home on autopilot. When I got there, Liam was sitting at the table, laptop open, messing with budgeting spreadsheets. He looked up and smiled. "Hey, how did the shoot go?" I dropped my bag, pulled out a chair, and sat down. For a second, I couldn't say anything. The words were all jammed up in my throat. "Mill," he asked, face shifting from relaxed to concerned in a heartbeat. "What happened?" I laughed. It came out sharp. "My mom decided we're not having a wedding anymore. We're hosting a baby shower." He blinked. "I'm sorry?" I told him everything. The calls, the group chat, the baby is more important, the City Hall comment. I watched his expression go from confused to hurt to something harder. When I finished, he was quiet for a long time. Then, very calmly, he said, "Absolutely not." I felt my eyes sting. They already told everyone. Then everyone can be told something else. He pushed his laptop aside and reached for my hand. "Millie, I love you. I want to marry you. I don't need a big venue or flowers or anything. I'll marry you in a parking lot at 3 a.m. if I have to. But what we are not going to do is let your mom turn our wedding into an afterthought in the corner of a balloon arch." I let out a shaky breath. They think I'm going to call the venue and rearrange everything for them. "Okay," he said. "Then you'll call the venue." I frowned. "Liam, did you hear what I just—" He squeezed my hand. "You'll call the venue for you, not for them." That sentence hung in the air between us. For me. Not for them. After he left for a night shift, I sat with my phone in my hand for a long time. Carla's name stared back at me. My chest hurt. My head hurt. Finally, I hit call. "Millie," she answered on the second ring. "If you're calling to tell me your mom is a prank, I'm in on it." I laughed, and this time it sounded a little wild. "It's not a prank." She got serious instantly. "Okay, talk to me." I paced the length of our tiny living room, bare feet on cool laminate, while I explained. The combined event, the baby shower, the pressure. Carla let me talk without interruption. When I finally ran out of words, she exhaled slowly. "Honestly," she said, "I've seen a lot in this building, but that might be top 10. I snorted, wiping under my eyes with my thumb. I'd ruined my mascara. Occupational hazard. "So, what are my options?" I asked. My voice was small in a way I hated. "Well," she said. "Option 1. You let them bulldoze you and spend your wedding day watching your sister open onesies while people ignore you. Not recommended." "Pass," I said. "Option 2. We stick to the contract as is. No baby shower. No combined anything. You show up, get married, have your party. Your mom can throw the shower in someone's backyard like a normal person." I swallowed. "She'll lose her mind." "There is option 3, Carla added hesitantly. "But you're not going to like it." "What?" "You cancel," she said. "You get your money back. We're still within the window where I can push it through. As a courtesy. You take your $7,600 and do whatever the hell you want with it that doesn't involve these people." I leaned my forehead against the cool wall and closed my eyes. The number echoed in my head. 7,600. I thought of my savings account. I thought of the studio space I'd been eyeing but couldn't afford yet. I thought of the fact that every dollar in that venue was mine, earned doing makeup under harsh lights while people yelled and the clock ticked. My mom hadn't contributed a cent. Neither had Jenna. "So," Carla said gently, "what do you want to do?" I opened my eyes. In the reflection on the TV screen, I saw myself. Smudged mascara, messy hair, ring on my finger, shoulders hunched like I was still a broke 19-year-old asking my mom if we could afford groceries. I was not that girl anymore. "Cancel everything," I said. My voice came out steadier than I felt. "Refund me the $7,600. Carla didn't even hesitate. "You got it. I'll email you the confirmation in an hour." I exhaled. "Thank you. And Millie," she added, "whatever circus your family is running, don't bring it back here. Go be happy somewhere else." After I hung up, I stared at my phone for a long time. Then I opened the group chat. The last message was from Mom. "Mom, don't forget to call the venue. We need to know about decor." My thumbs hovered over the keyboard. I typed, "Me." "Okay," and hit send. Carla's email came an hour later. Subject, cancellation confirmation, Millie and Liam. Amount refunded, $7,600. I stared at the number until it blurred. Then I checked my banking app. Pending credit. Real. Liam came home at 3 a.m., smelling like antiseptic and exhaustion. I showed him the email with shaking hands. "You sure?" he asked quietly after reading it twice. I nodded. "If we got married there now, I'd spend the whole time waiting for them to storm in with a diaper cake." He huffed a laugh. "Fair." We sat on the couch, his arm around me, my head on his shoulder, the glow of the TV screen painting the room blue. "So what do you want to do?" he asked. "Courthouse? Beach? Vegas with an Elvis impersonator?" I snorted. "Your mom would actually explode if we got married by Elvis without her there," he smiled. "She offered to host the whole thing in their backyard, you know. She told me she doesn't care if we get married next to the barbecue as long as we're happy." The contrast hurt. My chest actually ached. I closed my eyes. "Let's do the courthouse. Small. Quiet. Then dinner with your family, we can do a party later if we feel like it. Just not with mine. Done, he said. We booked the courthouse for the same date. Morning slot. It was almost funny. While my family was setting up jungle-themed centerpieces at a venue they thought they'd bullied me into, I'd be signing papers with the man I loved and the people who actually wanted to be there. I didn't tell my mom about the cancellation. Or the courthouse. She didn't ask. For the next few weeks, my phone pinged constantly with baby shower logistics. Mom, do you think the venue will let us hang things from the ceiling? Jenna, Mills, can you do my makeup that day? I want full glam, but like soft. Mom, send the coordinator our Pinterest board. They need to understand the vibe. I answered in short, vague messages. Me. I'm busy that morning. Me. Ask the venue. I kept waiting for Mom to mention speaking to the venue again. She didn't. I realized she just assumed I'd fixed it, because that's what I'd always done. The night before the date, Liam's parents hosted a small dinner for us. Just family and 2 close friends. We ate lasagna, drank cheap wine, and his mom cried 3 times just looking at us. I'm so happy you're joining the family, she kept saying, squeezing my hands. You're stuck with us now, you know that, right? Worst fate ever, Liam joked, kissing my cheek. That night, I went to bed with my phone on Do Not Disturb. The last thing I saw before I flipped it over was a message from Mom. Mom, don't be late tomorrow. Guests arrive at 2. We need your help setting up. I didn't reply. The next morning, I married Liam in a simple, white dress I'd bought off the rack last minute because wearing my original wedding gown to the courthouse felt like overkill. 2 of my friends came as witnesses. Liam's parents stood in the back and took too many photos. The ceremony was short but somehow exactly right. No drama, no speeches about how much they'd sacrificed for me, no passive-aggressive comments, just vows, a few tears, and the judge saying, I now pronounce you husband and wife. As we stepped out into the sunlight, Liam squeezed my hand. You good? I nodded. Better than good. We went to lunch with his family, laughed, ate cake, took a million photos in the restaurant parking lot because his mom liked the trees. For a few hours, I forgot about jungle-themed balloon arches and boba bars. Then, around 1:45 p.m., I turned my phone off Do Not Disturb. The notifications came in like a flood. 17 missed calls from Mom, 9 from Jenna, 3 from unknown. Group chat, 112 unread messages. I swallowed, opened the chat, and scrolled to the top of the chaos. It started normal. Mom. Almost there. Jenna. Traffic, but so excited. Aunt Carol. Can't wait to see the venue. Millie always posts such nice pics from there. Then it shifted. Mom. Where is everyone? Doors are locked. Mom? Millie? Did you tell them we're coming early? Mom. Hello, her? Then. Mom. Some woman here says there's no event booked under our name. Mom. She's asking for a contract. Mom. I told her it's your booking and you moved it. Explain, please. I could almost hear her tone through the screen. That sharp, embarrassed anger. Jenna. They're saying there's no baby shower today. What is going on? Jenna? I have 50 people in the parking lot, Millie. Jenna. This isn't funny. Photos started coming in. Closed doors. A sign on the front that said, closed for maintenance. Carla was nothing if not thorough. Then, Mom? Did you cancel the venue? Liam glanced over my shoulder as we sat in the back of the restaurant. Showtime, he murmured. I typed back, me. Yes. The typing dots appeared instantly. Mom, why would you do that? Mom, are you out of your mind? We're all here. People flew in for this. I rolled my eyes. Nobody flew in for my wedding, but sure, for the baby shower. Me. I canceled my wedding, months of work and my money were in that contract. I decided I didn't want my wedding turned into a baby shower. Mom, don't you dare make this about you. You humiliated your sister. She's crying. She's pregnant. Another message popped up from Jenna. Jenna, this is unbelievable. Who does this to their own family? You ruined my shower. I felt a strange calm settle over me. Me. I didn't ruin anything. I canceled my event that I paid for. You decided to build your shower on top of it without paying and without asking. Mom, we are family. You don't need to ask. You owe Wiss. After everything we've done for you, I actually laughed. Liam squeezed my knee under the table. Me? I owe you… What exactly? The rent I paid, when the lights were cut off, the car insurance? Jenna's prom dress? Her car? Her maternity shoot? Me. You didn't put a cent towards that venue. Not 1 cent. Mom, don't talk to me like that. The group chat went quiet for a few seconds, then my Aunt Carol chimed in. Aunt Carol, wait, Millie paid for the venue? I thought you guys were hosting the wedding and shower for her. I raised my eyebrows. Me? No. I paid. Alone. Mom and Jenna decided to take it over for a baby shower, and were planning to push my actual wedding to City Hall in the corner. 3 cousins left the chat almost immediately. It was petty, but I laughed. Private messages started coming in from relatives. Cousin 1. I didn't know that. I'm sorry, Millie. Cousin 2. Your mom told us you offered the venue to Jenna. Of course she did. Meanwhile, in the main chat, Jenna was still spiraling. Jenna, so what now? Everyone's here. Mom. You need to fix this, Millie. Mom. Call your old boss and tell her to let us in. I stared at the screen for a second, then typed, me. No. Just that. Silence. Then my mom called. I let it ring out. She called again. And again. Liam slipped my phone out of my hand and put it face down on the table. You don't have to answer, he said softly. I know, I said. And for the first time in my life, I actually meant it. Later that night, after we got home from dinner and changed into sweatpants, I finally played one of the voicemails. Mom's voice exploded out of the speaker. Millie, how dare you? Your sister sobbed in the car all the way home. People are talking about us. You made us look like fools. You always have to be the center of attention. This was supposed to be her day. You've always been jealous of her. Ever since you were kids. Liam hit stop. You don't need to listen to that. I shrugged. I kind of want to. It's like confirmation. Of what? That this was the right decision. The next day, the smear campaign started. Screenshots from another family group chat, one I'm not in, landed in my DMs, courtesy of a fed-up cousin. My mom, she's always been selfish. Jenna, she canceled our shower out of spite because everyone cared more about my baby than her wedding. My dad, who hadn't said a word to me in months. I'm not surprised. She thinks she's better than us now with her fancy job. I stared at the screenshots for a long time. Then I took more screenshots, saved them, filed them away in a folder on my phone titled Reasons. Over the next week, I blocked Jenna, then my mom, then my dad. I left the group chat without saying anything. My phone got quieter. My life got quieter. The money from the refund cleared into my account the same day I signed a lease on a tiny studio space I'd been drooling over for months. Exposed brick, big window, terrible heating. Perfect. The landlord asked, You sure you can swing the first 6 months up front? I smiled, thinking of balloon arches and boba bars that never happened. Yeah, I said. I'm sure. It's been 6 months since what my mom now calls the incident in messages I don't read. Life looks very different. I wake up in an apartment that doesn't have boxes stacked in a corner labeled wedding stuff anymore. We sold most of it, donated some, repurposed the rest for shoots. The dress went to a consignment shop and paid for a new camera for my content. I walk to my own studio most days. The first time I unlocked the door with my own keys, I actually teared up. The big window I loved lets in too much light in the afternoon, so I bought cheap curtains and installed them myself. Clients love the space. It feels so you, one said last week while I blended concealer under her eyes. I have a little framed photo on the shelf behind my chair. It's from our courthouse wedding. Liam's tie is crooked, my hair is only half pinned the way I wanted, and his mom's thumb is in the corner of the picture. It's my favorite photo I own. My relationship with my family is simple now. We don't have one. After the baby shower disaster, I texted my mom once, Me, I'm done being your wallet and your scapegoat. I won't be spoken to like that anymore. Me, when you're ready to apologize, sincerely, without excuses or blame, you can email me. Until then, I'm taking a break. She replied with a wall of text about how family doesn't take breaks and you'll regret this when I'm dead. I read the first 3 lines, then archived the conversation and blocked her number. Jenna tried to reach out through fake accounts twice to send me pictures of the baby with captions like, You're missing out. I saved the photos in the Reasons folder and blocked those accounts too. Sometimes, in the quiet moments, I do feel a pang. I won't lie and say I don't. I think about the baby who didn't ask to be born into a circus. I think about the fact that my kids, if we have them, probably won't know their grandparents. Then I remember my mom's voice saying, The baby is more important. Like my wedding, my happiness, my boundaries were irrelevant background noise. I remember Jenna texting, "Everyone's more excited for him anyway. Like, I should apologize for wanting one day that was about me and the person I love." I remember standing in my living room with the phone to my ear, heart pounding as I said, "Cancel everything and refund me the $7,600. And feeling this bizarre mix of terror and relief wash through me. Most importantly, I remember how calm my life got once I stopped letting them use me. Last week, a new client sat in my chair. Mid-30s, quiet, ring on her finger, dark circles under her eyes that concealer couldn't fully hide. We chatted while I worked, like I always do. Eventually, she asked about the photo on the shelf. "Your wedding?" "Yeah," I said, smiling. "Courthouse special." She laughed softly. "I wish I'd done that. My mom tried to control everything and I let her. It was awful." I met her eyes in the mirror. "Why'd you let her?" She thought about it. "I guess I didn't want to be the bad guy." I dipped my brush back into the palette. Sometimes being the bad guy just means you finally stopped being everyone else's doormat. She looked at me for a long beat, then nodded slowly. When she left, she hugged me and said, "You have good energy. Like you've been through fire and came out calmer." On my way home that night, I thought about the word fire. Yeah, that checks out. Here's what I've learned. You can give people everything: your time, your money, your discounts, your connections, your literal wedding. If they see you as a resource instead of a person, it will never be enough. They will take and take and take, then call you selfish the first time you say no. Canceling the venue didn't ruin my sister's baby shower. It revealed the truth about my family. The only reason they ever respected my boundaries is because I didn't have any. The day I drew a line, they tripped over it. Loudly. That's not on me. My wedding was small and simple, and nothing like the Pinterest board I made when I was 21. It was also the first major event of my life that wasn't held hostage by someone else's drama. That $7,600 didn't just buy a studio, it bought me a clean break. A chance to start a life where "we're using your" isn't the opening line of every conversation about my future. So no, I don't sit around regretting the incident. If anything, I'm grateful. Because now I know, in my bones, the one rule I'm building the rest of my life on: I would rather be the villain in my mother's story than the victim in my own.